Okay, we're live from Bay City, the Puck of the Irish tournament. Sorry for the delayed start on the broadcast here, as we had some site issues to figure out here on the professional rink at the Bay County Civic Arena. As Hawk Purple's down 3-0 late in the first period. We're playing 10-minute periods in this event, as it's played to the front and a score for Everly Dietline, making it 4-0. For the Blizzard, dressed in their green specialty uniforms for this tournament. I was talking to a parent before the start of the game, and she said that that's usually what they do every year for this event, which they are the host program for. In fact, the Hawks are going to play a couple of Bay County, Blizzard teams today. And, this first game has been difficult at the start for the Hawks. They have not had much of the puck. They had an early power play, and Asher Russell just missed on a chance. Here's Beckett Russell shooting off the center ice draw, and Asher gets in after it from behind, trying to bank it in front side of the goal. I don't think the Hawks have gotten a shot on target yet, though, against this goaltender. So, yeah, angle not the best for broadcasting here on this rink tonight, hoping for a better perspective and a better setup for you, but figured better something than nothing. As pulling it in comes Colin Marple for a shot, and he just missed the top left corner. 1:06 to go in the first period. Isaac Ruschi to the puck for Hawk Purple. He takes a look up the boards, cleared it there. Asher Russell out to the blue line, and Elias Bostwick punches it through center ice. Dylan Meisner to it for Bay County. Into the middle, and the Blizzard rush it out with Ruschi putting some pressure on the near boards. Down the wall comes Shapansky. Right to the middle, a backhand chance kicked out by Matthias Adams, who gets the start today in net. To the top of the circles, and whiffing on the shot that time was Grushinski. Far boards, and Riley Clark centered it. Goes right behind the Hawks goal. 20 seconds to go in the period. The Blizzard tried to get it out to the point. Instead, it's intercepted by Beckett Russell. Couldn't quite clear. Bostwick trying to get it out of the zone. And it bounces to the side of the goal. Blockered away by Adams to the far corner. Rhett Olson in after it. 6 seconds to go in the period. Banked in front of the goal on a wild bounce. Clark couldn't handle it for Bay County and turned wide of the net as the buzzer sounds, ending the first period. So our scoreboard says 3. It's actually 4-0 Bay County after one period of play. And I'll be back for more play-by-play from the Puck of the Irish tournament after this short break. Four 4-0 Bay County after one period. First game of 4 guaranteed this weekend. 2 today, 2 tomorrow. Later this evening, I'll have the coverage for you of the Hawk game against Bay County Blizzard 2 on the Olympic rink, as it's cleared past Lucas Geika at center ice, and Luke Ailes going in after it, and it's an icing call against the Blizzard. I thought Geika had gotten a piece of it, but apparently not. And so the Hawks start the second period with an offensive zone faceoff just 10 seconds in. And Henry Dewey takes the faceoff. Dewey, Dupuis, and Geika the forward line. Dupuis helps it back to the blue line. There's Duba backhanding it into the slot and intercepted by Shapansky. Number 77 in green down the boards. Micah Shapansky run off the puck, lost it in the high slot. Geika tipped it back for Luke Alice, called him Ailes earlier. Hard habit to break. I've been calling him that all year. And then I was informed that's not actually the proper pronunciation from the original German as Donick breaks in for a shot deflected by Alice in on Adams, and he makes the stop anyway. And we'll get a quick line change for Hawk. Gerbers, Curley, and Mulvey. Gerbers the backhand, looking for Freddie Curl on the far side. Freddie had a big weekend at the Adray tournament a couple of weekends ago in Muskegon. Twisted toward the front, but whistle sounds. Play was offside, just barely, as the puck bounced out over the blue line. So the Hawks attacking the goal down to our right in the second period. And I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, 10-minute period, so these games are going to zoom by. We're used to playing 13. Shot by Curl goes just wide of the net. Good idea to get it toward the goal. Jace Hildebrandt got a piece of that, I think, with the right pad. Colin Marple takes it back for Bay County. Clears it around. Goes beyond the reach of Brett Railing. Into the possession of Bronson Tronovich. He goes rink wide. Good play to find Gerbers. A lot of open ice on this side. Handing it off to Nolan Mulvey. His shot was blocked in the slot by Ansel. Up the boards, Grushinski for Bay County. Got right past Hayhow, and Grushinski charges ahead for a breakaway. He's in alone against Adams. A fake, a shot. Great stop by Adams. Sliding down onto his side to take away the angle on the forehand move. Best stop of this game we've seen on either side. Back to the blue line, Henrik Johnson ducking to the near boards, finding some room, but it's quickly closed off by the Hawks. They force the turnover. Tronovich to the biscuit, fired it past Railing. Far boards into the face-off circle. Here's Railing trying to shoot, and it goes just wide of the short side. 7:47 to go in the second period. Right back toward the front of the Hawks goal. That's picked off by Hayhow. He tries to clear up the near side. Mulvey there looking to help out. And lost control of it, though, and picked up and taken toward the goal for a backhand shot that goes rising high from Marple. He's been one of their best players early on in this game. Gerbers a backhand up the far boards, just out of the reach of Curl. On the offensive blue line, Mulvey to Curl, handing off. Gerbers back to Curl. Ripped away, though, by Dietline for Bay County. Tronovich rifles it right back in, but picked up cleanly by Johnson. Johnson, the left-handed shot, pushing it down the wall, makes the cut-in move. Great backhand shot, and he scored. Got that shot off quickly, did Henrik Johnson from in front, and it's 5-0 Bay County. That was a slick move coming off the boards. .658 to go in the second. Just the one penalty in this game so far. That was against Bay County midway through the first period. Second game on this ice sheet today. It's going to be a busy place. Two rinks here at this facility, the Bay County Civic Arena and the Blizzard, the home team for this tournament. Good forechecking pressure by Ruschi, forces the turnover. Asher Russell trying to deke around a couple of Blizzard. Bostwick went down. He appears to be holding his chest or his stomach. He might have gotten poked there by a Bay County stick on a collision. But play goes the other way as Red Olson tries to clear, and we might have a penalty called in the offensive zone against Hawk, hooking the call. Yes, the home penalty box opens. Hawk is the home team in effect for this game, and it is a hooking penalty, and it's going to go against Beckett Russell. So Beckett to the box. Since the periods are only 10 minutes, the power plays are just a minute. So you got to move quickly. Colin Marple to take the face off against Red Olson. And Marple for the Blizzard wins it back to Madison. Shoots it off the leg of Marple, who lifted up Flamingo style, that 1 foot to kick it into the corner. Free high in the zone. Asher Russell takes possession. Russell off to Olsen, trying to get something going for the Hawks in their first game of this tournament. Russell rips it far side wall. Pierce Donick lost control of it. Asher Russell pokes it ahead. He's trying to get by Meisner. Took the shot from distance, and it just ricocheted wide. Might have gone off a stick. As Alice tries to get in there with the twig at center ice, deflected it, but it still worked its way into the Hawk zone. Tronovich clearing out to the blue line, picked off there by Meisner. His shot from the point, handled by Adams, hands it off wisely to Alice as there were no Blizzard players around, trying to get the clear. 5 seconds to go on this power play. Told you they were quick, as it's right to the front, and Tronovich, or pardon, that's Duba, actually 21, not 71, gets the clear, and out of the box comes Beckett Russell. He picks off that puck, took it away from Meisner. Backhanded it in below the goal line. Marple clears all the way around the horn. Out it goes as Gignac couldn't get to it in time for Bay City. Pumped right back in by Donick. Alice over to Duba. They're the defense pairing right now as the Hawks return to full and even strength. Fresh legs on the ice in the form of Finn Dupuis as he chases behind the goal against Madison. Turn it over to Madison, right to Asher Russell. Trying to make a move to the backhand. It drifted off his stick, though. Lost it right back to Asher. Took the shot. Hildebrandt the save. Loose puck at the front. Dupuis looking for it. It's in his skates. And he pokes it just wide on the turnaround shot. Dangerous play as Donick cut right in front of his own goal. Lost the puck to Finn Dupuis. He's there at the inner edge of the left circle. Couldn't get the shot away. Olsen dubs it just wide. Couldn't get a clean shot off. Good pressure from the Hawks here. Their best sequence of the game so far as Russell helped it down the wall on Hayhal's dump in. Dupuis ties up with a Blizzard player and turned it behind the goal. Madison trying to get it out at the near point. Hayhal got in the way of that too. That's twice he's bottled up the Blizzard breakout. Russell the backhand. Wisner knocked it right back to the blue line. Again the hold from Hayhal. And the Blizzard going to try one more time up this near side, and this time Railing does clear. He put enough mustard on that, but it's an icing against Bay County with 3:41 to go in the second period. And so an offensive zone face-off. We'll see Dewey and Geika, and I thought Dupuis was going to stay out there. That is his line, it looks like, for today. He will. As we've got Bostwick and Beckett Russell on the blue line. The drop of the puck, Dewey whacks it toward the middle, and it goes over to the far wing for Dietline for Bay County, and she just barely pops it out to center ice. Beckett Russell's pass off a leg right to Lucas Geika. Tried to connect over to Dewey. Dewey put it off the skates of Geika just outside the blue line. Russell surrounds it for Hawk, and it's offside as Bostwick was just a step ahead of the play, breaking in over the blue line. So the Hawks line change sends Curl, Gerbers, and Mulvey out there for the neutral zone draw against Alice and Duba. And here's Gerbers nudging it ahead. Isaac Gerbers with some room. Took the shot. It just went off the toe of his stick. And behind the goal where Shapansky tries to clear. Couldn't do it. Curl right back toward the front. Intercepted by Johnson. Johnson swerves his way and chips it down the boards. Alice chasing. Grushinski on it for Bay County. Duba got in the way of that. Nice stick. Alice pops it around the wall. 2:51 to go in the period. And too far for anyone to reach. That's icing against Hawk. Just the one goal in this period, scored by Bay County. Otherwise, a much better frame for Hawk. The Blizzard were ready to go right from the drop of the puck. And they actually started this game early. It was supposed to be a 9:45 puck drop. It's part of the reason why I couldn't get this thing on the air until basically the first period was over with. So certainly understand tournament organizers trying to make sure things stay on or even ahead of time, but would have been nice to know that. Anyway, back with it comes Olsen. And a two-man rush for the Hawks, but dispossessed by Henrik Johnson, who's a strong skater back there for Bay County. There he goes up the far side. Good size, too, but he coughed it up to Asher Russell. Reaching in, Ruschi lost control of it. Still free right near the dot. It's under the body of Ansel, and it pops loose to Ruschi. Worked it over to Russell behind the goal. He's got Olsen in front, tried to feed it to him, and it was broken up by Johnson. Ruschi hacking at it, but back to the blue line it goes. Tronovich put it off the body of a Blizzard and out to center on the clear by Dietline. Good play from Hayhow, angling it over to Red Olsen, who has some speed as he tries to move his way past Johnson, but Johnson closed down that space with under 2 to go in the second period. Up the far wing, and it's Everly Dietline. Lost control of it. Nice stick from Ruschi. Strong stick to get it in there and free it up for his line mate, Russell. Asher's to the corner. He and Johnson cancel out. Asher right back to it. Tried to get it in front again. Now he passed it off the goaltender's pads, and it ricochets off Hildebrandt and back out high in the zone. He was looking for Olsen, was Russell. Ruschi to it. Shooting toward the front. Deflected. Again, Henrik Johnson got in the way. He slaps it to the near boards. Riley Clark looking to clear, and he does, or she does, get it past Hayhow. And on down it goes for an icing against the Blizzard. 1:06 remaining in the second. Hawk looking for that breakthrough. Coming up, offensive zone draw. Dewey, Dupuis, and Geika back out. Russell and Bostwick, the defenders. Dewey against Railing. Loose puck. Bostwick tapped it over to Dupuis. Into the slot. Tried to hand it off to Geika, but he wasn't ready for it. And Shapansky drags it away. And look at this speed. Micah Shapansky all the way to the goal, and he scores. Pretty brilliant individual effort from Micah, and it's 6-0 Bay County. Final minute of the second period. 51 seconds to go. Second goal of the frame for Bay County. Shapansky just got to that puck, and no one could stop him on the far side. Geika breaks up the dump in, but it's right back over to Shapansky. Right on him there is Dewey, though. Good play by Henry Dewey, but he couldn't quite get there for the backhand in deep. So here's Russell turning it up the boards. Still free, right out near the red line. And gobbled up by Shapansky, but his pass was errant. Looking down the wing for Meisner, and icing again against Bay County. 22 seconds to go in the period. Gerbers to take the face-off against Grushinski. Isaac played it. And right back to Russell, a shot, score, it went in. Right through the legs of the netminder, Jace Hildebrandt, and Beckett Russell has the Hawks' first goal of the tournament. That was a little luck of the Irish there as it deflected off somebody on the way to the net, and the goaltender, Hildebrandt, couldn't track it. Changed direction, and it went in, and it's 6-1 with just 16 seconds to go in the period. So the Hawk D heard from on the score sheet. Beckett Russell cashing in. Gignac, though, for Bay County, rifles it off the shoulder of Matthias Adams, and it hops to the near boards. Played right back into the slot, and from the top of the crease, picked out of there by Beckett Russell. Time runs out in the second period. So Hawk Purple gets one back right near the end of the frame. Third coming up very shortly right here on YouTube. Stay with us. Hawks in white, Blizzard in green for this game. I'm imagining the Blizzard will wear their green in the second game against this program later today. Are you sensing a theme? There are shamrocks hanging in the center concourse between these two rinks, if you can call it that. More like a hallway. Concourse sounds more fancy, though, as Ruschi threw it from the near boards, right through the top of the crease. Hildebrandt, the goaltender, got a stick on it. Olsen on that loose puck. Olsen centering, looking for Asher. It was deflected. Asher still lassoed it, but couldn't turn the forehand shot toward the front. 6-1 Bay County Blizzard. Rushing it in are the Blizzard. Marple tripped up in the slot by Duba. Save made, though, on the sliding shot. Matthias Adams pins it down, and we'll have our first Blizzard power play of the morning with 9:14 to go in regulation. Line change for Hawk. They'll be shorthanded. Geiken, Dewey, and Dupuis. Well, he needs someone off the ice. They've got 5 out there. And the referee is telling the Hawks they need to take one off. The ref's ready to drop the puck. So Geica checks out. Dewey and Dupuis stay out as the two forwards. To the blue line, a wrister by Ansel. Didn't get all the way through, and powered down by Tronovich. Out of the zone, won't go far enough for icing either, so perfectly weighted, like a curling stone down there. A little lighter than your typical curling stone, though. Toward the middle comes Shapansky. He gets around Hayhow, took the shot. Save made by Adams. Threw it back in front, did Shapansky. No one was ready for it. For a drive at the point by Clark that was blocked in front. Down the wall goes Ansel. Threw it right through the crease, and it zipped by where Clark latches onto it at the half boards. Dewey got a bump, but turned back to Johnson, all the way across Ansel, shooting, deflected, pad save by Adams, rebound, he corrals that too. Matthias Adams slows the pace as the clock continues to run. I don't know what's going on there. 8:12 to go in the third period, make it 8:10. I guess it's a running clock right now? No idea. And the power play should be over. Duba needs to come out of the box. Yeah, they're just running the clock at this point. A little disorganized. 7:50 to go in the third. Guess we're trying to rush these teams off the stage here. Russell, some fancy stick handling, trying to come out of his own end. He did get it just barely out over the blue line, but here comes Gignac. Back in for a chance. Pad save by Adams. Shot from between the circles. Good scoring opportunity. Gerbers scoops it up, and there he goes. Picking him up and putting him down, Isaac Gerbers. Over the blue line, poke check by Johnson. Gerbers put it behind the goal. Trying to connect to Mulvey, who catches up to it at the near wall. Mulvey guides it down the wood, but Marple intercepts for Bay County. Marple tries to clear. Bostwick was there, but whiffed on the attempted shoot-in. So his partner Russell back to cover up for him and pumps it up the wall. Curl corrals the puck. That signature red helmet, red gloves of his. Curl reaching in against the defenseman Johnson, forcing him to the wall. Mulvey gets in there too on the forward check. Puck up for grabs. And the Blizzard managed to escape to center, and suddenly it's a 2-on-0. Charging ahead, Colin Marple, making a breakaway. Marple dropped it back, and Russell hustled to get into position to tap it away from Donek. Thrown right to the front. Here's Marple, and he missed the goal. On the right post side, Marple gets back to the puck, so the Blizzard trying to share it there, and didn't end up working out for him, but you like the spirit of it. Long distance shot, padded and covered by Adams. On the play by Garrett Madison out by the blue line. 6:10 to go in the third. And I suppose it is meant to be a running clock. I thought initially that was a mistake by the scorekeeper. It is not. I think Olsen was surprised to see that. He looked up to the scoreboard and said, "What gives?" basically. Luke Alice in front of his goal. Skates it to safety. Banks it out beyond Shapansky. To the middle. Trying to reach it a couple of Blizzard. Alice got leveled there by Railing, and that should be a penalty, and it will be a penalty on the check by Railing. So Brett Railing to the box for Bay County. That'll give the Hawks a power play. And by the time they face it off down there, it'll be closer to 5 minutes to go in the third. 6-1, Bay County. No goals yet in this period. 4 in the first for Bay County, 2 in the second. And the puck is dropped right back to Asher Russell. Let a shot go, but someone got a piece of that for Bay County as it deflected into the far corner. Ruschi got it behind the goal, but that was quickly picked off. Olsen stepping up on a Blizzard. Olsen thought about leaving it back for Duba. Now Olsen takes it, shoots it, and that was rejected. Shapansky got it. Micah Shapansky rushing it again. Short-handed are the Blizzard. Duba gets back to try to cut off the angle. Shapansky, the pull-up move. He shoots just wide of the glove side of Adams. Loose behind the goal. Just 15 seconds to go on this power play. Turn toward the front. Duba got a stick on it. So did Olsen. Couldn't get it by Shapansky. High in the zone. Russell overskated, but Ruschi collects it for Hawk. And the power play runs out. Ruschi skating it in over the blue line. Offside, Hawk. And just a half step ahead was Russell, and I think Olsen too. Another line change for Hawk Purple. Hawk Purple finished first in its regular season division in the Adre League, Adre West. Got bumped up for the postseason to the Gold Division in Muskegon a couple of weeks ago. Played 3 pretty good games. Played 2 tight games against Stars. Those ended up in losses, but Hawk did well there, and then also collected a blowout win against the Lakeshore Junior Lumberjacks, who had bested them a couple of times earlier this season. So the Hawks pushed back there. Had been a satisfying result for them. And this wraps up the season this weekend. 3:22 to go in the third period. Hayhow got a stick to poke it away from Meisner, and loose at the side. Tronovich ushers it away to the near boards. Up it comes to the point. And a long shot. Adams made a save. He pinned it against his pad on the drive from Madison. 3:01 to go in the third. Fresh bodies out there for Hawk, Curl, Gerbers, and Mulvey. Gerbers threw it back door. Great pass. And it's shoved just wide of the net. So Gerbers had it, and then he had the puck knocked off his stick by one of the Blizzard right to the side of the goal. That went from defense to offense in a hurry. Railing, trying to get it out or get it up to the blue line. Curl couldn't clear it past Marple, who shot it off the pad of Adams from the top of the circle, right through the slot again. Marple reaching out for it. Ansel driving it, blocked by Beckett Russell, and cleared past Marple. Out near the blue, 2 minutes to go in the third. Johnson steps up, handing off. Boswick, nice poke check against Gignac to take it away. Boswick to Beckett. And Beckett under the stick of Mulvey. Mulvey hands off. Gerbers taking it back, pulling up. High in the zone. Lost it in his skates for a moment, did Isaac Gerbers. Gerbers against Henrik Johnson in that corner. Mulvey popped it in off the kick plate. 1:30 left. Hawk looking for another. Curl centering pass intercepted and taken away by Gignac, but Mulvey got in the way of him. Knocked the puck away. Another sustained offensive shift for Hawk. The Blizzard have it once more. Angled off the near boards by Railing. Still free high in the zone. Gerbers couldn't poke it past Johnson. And Henrik Johnson on a 2-on-0 for Bay County. Final minute coming up. Left it back. Henrik Johnson a shot and a diving save by Adams. He got it with the goal stick. Good effort. All the way to the end from Matthias Adams in net. Beckett Russell broke it up. Freddie curled to the puck. Down the right wing, Colin Marple slowed him up, but a pull-up shot by Curl goes just wide of the goal. Henrik Johnson retrieves. 38 seconds to go in this game. Bounced it through to center. Another chance perhaps for the Blizzard. On the counter. Offside, though, as Grushinski was ahead of the play as Bostwick dived down to try to block that pass. Couldn't quite get it, but it didn't matter, as we'll have one more face-off maybe. Just 20 seconds left on a running clock. Neutral zone draw coming up. And it's over on the right wing side from the Hawks' perspective. And they will get the face-off taken care of, but Shapansky ripped it away from Olsen. Bounced it wide of the goal. Comes hard off the boards. Tough break there, and it's banged into the net just before the buzzer. For the final goal of the game, Pierce Donick takes advantage of the bounce and pumped it into the net for a final of 7-1. At least I think that's going to count. Always weird with the running clock, but from my ear and from my eye, I think that puck just barely crossed the goal line just as the buzzer sounded. Either way, the Bay County Blizzard with an impressive performance this morning in their home tournament. The Puck of the Irish, Hawk Purple falling in their first game. We'll have more on the other rink here at the Bay County Civic Arena later today, so keep an eye out for that link. I'll be sharing that as well. Thanks for watching this morning. Sorry for the late start. We'll try to do better the next time, as I always like to say. Talk to you then.